the Cabrini Green.
Not taking it away from
Oh my God!
That's beautiful. He's got it.
It's over. He's got it. It's over.
It's gonna be double. Absolute machine. A barrage.
That's it. That's it.
Fedor Emelianenko sends a very clear message. Left and right.
Look at his hands.
And he's got him.
Look at this.
There's the balance by Emelianenko in full mount now box.
Umar. Oh, he's got it. He's got it. He's gonna break it.
Clinch.
He's breaking the right way. It's perfect. He breaks it the right way, not the other side. It's beautiful.
Oh,
That's
God.
beautiful. He's got it.
And he's forced the tap.
Let's go back to that one again. They have taken it all again. There's a lot of trouble out
It's
here.
gonna be double.
Right hand, to the head, to the head.
Oh, this is going to be over.
This does not look like it's going to go long into his face. And now he's doing the hammer fist down. Big Daddy in big trouble. Nick, it looks like he is out. It looks like he is out.
There it is. And it's over.
Flags here. Right on his head.
Unbelievable suplex lands
Oh,
right on his head.
that's rampage style.
Man, I never did anything like that.
See what he does. He's got it.
And Coleman at the tap.
See how he's got the wrist out? He's really twisted that elbow up into shoulder position. It doesn't hurt the elbow. It's actually tearing his rotator cuff on his shoulder. That's the submission. It's one of the best ones. And Fedor does it better than anybody else around.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another quick clip from Mr. TDC. First things first, like this video, share this video, leave comments in the comment section. You guys know how much I love to engage in MMA conversation. Please do that and subscribe to this channel. So, it's a slow news day, guys. I'm sorry, it's just a very slow day. But I decided to go on Twitter about a day or two ago. And I saw a tweet from Mr. Testosterogen. Shout out to Mr. Testosterogen on Twitter. I put a screenshot of the tweet and my response. And essentially, paraphrasing his tweet, he asked, what would be a hot take that you would defend against all odds today? What would be a hot take you would defend against the MMA community? And my take, my response, as you guys saw earlier, was that Fedor Emelianenko would have had a 10-year undefeated run in the UFC if he joined the UFC in his prime. And of course, that response tweet was viewed over 2,000 times, and of course, I had some few people in the comments responding to me and giving excuses as to why they don't believe that that would have been a take I would defend. And I'm going to go into it today. I'm going to bring stats. I'm going to bring facts. You guys know I love my channel to be an opinion-based channel. I just love it. I sprinkle a little facts in there, but for the most part, I'm just talking crap. You guys know this. But today, no. Today we are not talking crap. Today, we're going to actually go into some details. Let's first start with who is Fedor Emelianenko for all these dumb casuals out there. Fedor Emelianenko was the greatest UFC heavyweight that never was. He is also referred to in the MMA community as the last emperor. Fedor Emelianenko was a champion heavyweight fighter in Pride, Bellator, and other fight promotions outside of the UFC. And he has a stunning, completely stunning record of fights. Literally, even you have videos of UFC legends like Jose Aldo and others acknowledging the greatness that is Fedor Emelianenko. Right? Now, I don't think I would have done Fedor a lot of justice if I didn't put together a montage of some of his best finishes in his career. He's retired now, I believe, but I don't think I would have done him justice if I had not done that. That is why I started this video the way I did. But let me tell you why I believe Fedor Emelianenko would have been would have had a 10-year undefeated run if he was in the UFC in his prime. Unfortunately, Fedor couldn't join the UFC. I know they had some contractual obligations. For the first time in a long time, it's one of these few deals that Dana White and his team could not put together. I have no idea why that happened. Something to do with some dudes in Russia, you know, a little bit of ties to the Russian mob. For the full context of that story, please go and watch the podcast episode, the Joe Rogan podcast episode with Ilia Topuria. I'll find those clips on YouTube. I think Joe Rogan tried to explain it to Ilia Topuria as to why Fedor never fought in the UFC. But that aside, guys, I say Fedor would have had a 10-year run, undefeated run in the UFC for several reasons. I think at the time Fedor was in his prime, he had the skill sets and fight IQ and grit to sustain wins over any heavyweights of the time. From any organization. I don't care if it was Bob Sapp, as big as Bob Sapp was, and I don't care if it was Brock Lesnar from the UFC. I don't care. I think Fedor Emelianenko destroys everybody in his prime. I think prime Fedor Emelianenko would have been so dominant in the UFC's heavyweight division if he had come there, that he probably would have been the first real UFC superstar. Not Randy Couture, not Tito Ortiz, not the Iceman, Chuck Liddell. Listen, I know those guys are legends, don't get me wrong, I understand. These are our dear legends and I hold them dear to my heart. But I think Fedor was on a different level when he was in his prime. I want to pick out a list of UFC heavyweights that I consider arguably the greatest UFC heavyweights to ever do it. No, I'm not adding John Jones to that list. John Jones is probably in the conversation for light heavyweight GOAT, not heavyweight, because we all know why. Go check out my last video. We all know why. So let's keep that aside. I want to make my list of 4 fighters that I think may be or should be considered in the conversation of heavyweight GOATs in the UFC. Number 1, obviously, Stipe Miocic. You guys know why. Stipe doesn't need any introduction. Stipe doesn't need any explanation of his credentials. Let's put that aside. Second person would be Cain Velasquez. Cain Velasquez in his prime. And by the way, I'm mentioning all these guys in their prime for context. So Cain Velasquez is number 2. The next person would be Daniel Cormier, in my personal opinion. And believe it or not, Brock Lesnar. And I say Brock Lesnar not because of the skill set that he brought to the table, but greatness greatness for Brock in terms of bringing eyes to the UFC, creating the fandom, being the first successful crossover from a different sport into the UFC, who became a champion. So all those accolades, you know, all those accolades deserve to be on this list. Now, every single guy I've just mentioned, I believe Fedor kicks their asses in his prime. I really do. Look at Stipe's record. Stipe had 20 wins, 5 losses, 4 title defenses, and he is considered the greatest MMA, UFC heavyweight champion, right? Cain Velasquez had 14 wins, 3 losses, 2 title defenses. See where I'm going? Brock Lesnar had 5 wins, 3 losses in the UFC, and 2 title defenses. Successful. Daniel Cormier, which I think is the best heavyweight record honestly, in the UFC. He had 22 wins in his career, his MMA career. 22 wins, 3 losses, 1 no contest, and 1 title defense, even though he became the double champ. Fedor Emelianenko has 46 of 47 pro fights with how many coming out of a KO? Guys, just give me a moment. I need to check these stats very well. I need to be sure. Fedor has, there you go. Fedor has 48 matches. He won 40 of those matches. 16 of those matches, of those wins were by KO. Let's not talk about submissions. 16 KOs in 48 matches. Cain Velasquez's entire career was 17 fights. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? And I'm going to also address real quick some of the excuses a few people dropped in response on that tweet. A dude said something about Fedor only went that far. You know, I'm paraphrasing here, guys. Fedor only went that far because there wasn't good enough competition in other fight promotions at the time. What the hell are you talking about? Of course there was good competition. And not just good competition. These guys were like huge. Did you see some of the guys Fedor fought? They were huge, they were giants. And Fedor always brought them down. His competition sample level was probably on a level like Khabib, or maybe even more. And his striking was better than Khabib's, if you ask me personally. Another excuse that someone said Prime Cain, he believed that Prime Cain Velasquez could have beaten, or Prime Cain Velasquez and Prime Randy Couture could have beaten Fedor Emelianenko. I'm sorry, I disagree. I disagree. I think Prime Fedor would also kick both their asses. It's arguable, it's debatable. That's just my belief, and I'm standing on that business. And someone else said that this was a very strange excuse to me. Somebody said it was in the time Fedor fought, MMA and the fighters in MMA, and especially in other promotions, were one-dimensional fighters. To which I say, the game is ever evolving. And if the game continues to evolve, do we now say, because of the evolution of the game, we should discredit the skill set of the fighters from the past? If anything, supreme skill set from the past is what makes the game continuously evolve. Imagine the first time someone did a triangle. Nobody knew what the hell it was. Nobody had an idea what a triangle was, but it was effective. But today, a lot of guys have a lot of ways to get out of a triangle because the game has evolved. UFC 1, who knew about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? Until Royce Gracie came there and won, and everybody's like, oh my God, that's a thing? That is a tool that we need in the game. And guess what? Boom, they evolved. So the evolution doesn't matter, sir. It doesn't matter that at the time the fighters were one-dimensional, which I personally don't believe they were. But even if the fighters were one-dimensional, for the skill set at the time, we're going to take them at their value at the time. Not their value today or their value in the future. It just doesn't work that way. It doesn't. Sorry. This is my thought and I'm sticking to it. And if you guys disagree, please feel free to drop a note in the comment section. Mr. TDC is out. I don't want this to be too long. I appreciate you. Peace.